Welcome back to another episode in our commentary series on Ajmal's writing from theborderofamind.com.
Oh, yeah.
His blog,
Yeah.
The Border of a Mind, is a really fascinating space. You'll find personal reflections mixed with art and philosophical ideas,
Yeah,
and it all makes you think differently about the world.
definitely.
Today, we're focusing on a specific blog post titled A Serene Shelter of Words, The Border of a Mind.
It's a great choice.
Yep.
The central metaphor in this piece, the idea of a sanctuary, really struck me.
Oh, yeah.
How does that resonate with you?
Well, it made me think about how we often search for peace and quiet in external places, a vacation or even just a quiet room.
Right.
But Ajmal is suggesting that real peace comes from creating a mental sanctuary,
Yeah.
a space within ourselves.
Exactly. And he doesn't shy away from describing the chaos we're constantly facing.
Right.
He compares our daily routines to a tempest
Oh, wow.
and uses the analogy of a snow globe being shaken up.
Okay.
It really paints a vivid picture of that feeling of being overwhelmed.
Yeah, they're being bombarded with demands and distractions, and sometimes it feels like there's no escape.
Exactly.
But that's where the idea of the therapeutic comes in.
This analogy really resonated with me.
Yeah.
He's not saying we should ignore these external forces, but rather learn to ride them,
Oh.
like a skilled surfer navigating the waves.
So instead of letting the chaos control us, we learn to find our balance and move through it. What do you think are some practical ways people can start applying this surfer-pist mindset?
Well, I think mindfulness practices are a great starting point.
Okay.
Things like meditation or even just taking a few deep breaths throughout the day can help us become more aware of those waves of emotion and thought without getting swept away by them.
It's about creating that space between stimulus and response,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Instead of just reacting automatically, we pause and choose how we want to respond. And Ajmal goes on to argue that finding this inner peace isn't about fighting external circumstances, but about mastering them.
Right.
He uses the brilliant analogy of a seasoned sea captain.
That's a powerful image.
Yeah?
The captain doesn't try to stop the storm. They learn to navigate through it.
How do you think that translates to our everyday lives?
I think it's about developing that same sense of resilience and resourcefulness.
Okay.
We learn to read the situation, adjust our course, and make the best choices we can, even when things are tough.
So we become more proactive
Yeah.
instead of reactive.
Right.
It's not about controlling external events, but about mastering our inner world.
Right.
And that's where cultivating a serene center becomes so important. Ajmal really emphasizes the need to observe our thoughts and emotions without letting them completely run the show.
Right.
It's about recognizing we have a choice in how we respond. What does that look like in practice?
Think about it like this. Instead of immediately reacting when something stressful happens, we take a moment to pause, breathe, and observe what's happening inside us.
Okay.
We might ask ourselves, what thoughts are coming up for me right now? Or what am I feeling in my body?
It's about becoming more mindful, more aware of those internal processes.
Exactly. And that's where the imagery of the still, unruffled pool reflecting the moon comes into play.
I love that image.
Yeah.
It's so serene.
Yeah.
What do you think Ajmal is trying to convey with that?
He's suggesting that even when everything around us feels chaotic and turbulent,
Right.
we can cultivate a sense of stillness within ourselves.
Okay.
Like that pool, we can remain calm and reflective even amidst the storms of life.
It reminds me of the saying, you can't calm the storm, so calm yourself.
That's a great way to put it. And Ajmal suggests that by cultivating this inner sanctuary, we actually gain a sense of sovereignty over our lives.
Sovereignty, that's an interesting word choice.
Yeah.
What do you think he means by that?
I think he's getting at the idea of becoming more intentional and empowered in our choices and actions. Instead of constantly reacting to circumstances,
Yeah.
we develop the ability to make decisions that are aligned with our values and aspirations.
It's about taking ownership of our lives, even when things feel out of control.
Absolutely. And this sense of empowerment comes from a place of deep inner peace and clarity. When we're grounded in that stillness, we're not so easily swayed by external events.
It's like we're developing an internal compass that helps us navigate through life's challenges.
That's a great analogy, and Ajmal also suggests that this shift in perspective changes how we view problems altogether.
In what way?
Well, instead of seeing them as insurmountable obstacles,
Okay.
we start to see them as opportunities for growth and learning. We develop the resilience to navigate difficulties with more grace and wisdom.
That's a huge shift.
Yeah.
It's not about avoiding challenges, but changing how we relate to them.
Precisely, and I think that's one of the most empowering messages in Ajmal's work. He's reminding us that we have the capacity to create this inner peace, this serene shelter within ourselves, regardless of the storms that may rage around us.
It's about finding that unshakable core within that place of strength and stability that allows us to face whatever comes our way.
Absolutely.
It really is a powerful message, isn't it?
It is.
It reminds me that we always have a choice in how we respond to life's ups and downs.
Absolutely. And what I appreciate about Ajmal's writing is that he doesn't just present this as some abstract concept.
Right.
He offers practical tools and techniques that we can all use to cultivate that inner peace.
Absolutely. It's not just about theory.
Right.
It's about putting these ideas into practice.
Yeah.
What are some of the specific things he suggests?
Well, he talks a lot about the importance of mindfulness, as we've already touched on.
Right.
But he also emphasizes the power of things like journaling, spending time in nature, and connecting with our creativity.
Those are all great suggestions. It's about finding what works for you. What helps you connect with that sense of inner peace?
Exactly. And it's important to remember that this is an ongoing journey, a process of continual growth and evolution.
It's not about achieving some perfect state of serenity.
No.
But about making a conscious effort to cultivate that inner peace on a daily basis.
Right. It's about returning to that sanctuary again and again, as often as we need to.
Okay.
And with each return, we strengthen that connection. We deepen our sense of inner peace and resilience.
So for our listeners who are intrigued by these ideas and want to learn more, what would you recommend?
I highly recommend checking out Ajmal's blog, theborderofamind.com.
Okay.
You'll find a wealth of thought-provoking articles, beautiful artwork, and practical insights.
It's a great resource for anyone looking to explore these themes of inner peace, personal growth, and navigating the challenges of life.
Right.
We'll be sure to link to it in the show notes.
And as you continue to explore these ideas, remember the power of cultivating your own serene shelter within.
Okay.
It's a gift you can give yourself no matter what's happening in the world around you.
Beautifully said. And on that note, we'll wrap up this episode of our commentary series on Ajmal's writings. We'll be back soon with another deep dive into his thought-provoking work. Until then, we encourage you to visit theborderofamind.com and discover the wisdom that awaits you there.
And as always, stay tuned for more insightful discussions in our future commentary series.